So I'm going to show different ways to put treads on your tire or something like that. You're going to have some artistic license here and what exactly you're going to do. I'm going to start with what I refer to as the poor man's solution first. So I'm going to do a sketch on one of these planes that kind of cuts the wheel in half. So I'll do it on the right plane today. So I'm going to do a sketch there. Actually, I'll do it on the front. I'll do it on the front plane. So I'm drawing on the front plane, but it's a plane that cuts the wheel like this. All right. And then I am going to actually, if I go to the view cube, the bottom right of the view cube, there's this camera around or whatever. I can do a section view. I'm going to create a section view on this plane just so that I can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to just make a rectangle. I think what I'll do actually, I'm going to use the project tool first, and I'm going to project this edge. So I projected that edge. So I got that. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a rectangle like that. I'm not going to worry about dimensioning it. I'm just making one. Okay. So I made a little like rectangle like that. We're good so far? Yes, yeah. I projected this edge so that I could, line the rectangle up with that edge. And then I did a center rectangle so that I can make it line up with the center of the wheel. All right. I'm not going to dimension it. Then I'm going to do a revolve. Now, I want to try something really quick here. I want to see something if this works. Oh, you can choose it. That's beautiful. That's exactly what I want. All right. So when we did this profile, you'll notice that we had to draw a line, basically a center line, to revolve around. But once you've already established like circular features, you can use those as your axis. So you'll notice that I didn't draw a center line for this. Right? I just drew this rectangle. So now that I have that, I'm going to do the revolve. And I'm going to make it a remove because I'm going to cut into the material. Sound good? Yes, yeah? I'm going to cut into the material. It's not letting me choose that. Okay. We'll try something else. Maybe this will work.
Oh my god. That was not particular. Wait, this is my own.
This is still being a bug.
And those plates.
Okay, we'll try this again. So I think I figured out why last year I made them stick out so that you could actually click on them. One of the issues and we did this with the cat. I had this issue with the cat a couple years ago. If you have a sketch that's completely inside something, you can't like select the sketch, which is kind of annoying. So what you might have to do when you make your rectangle, even with the section view, you may have to draw the rectangle so that part of it sticks out, so that you can select it. Sound good? Yes, yeah? Yeah.
Yep.
I wish it wasn't that way, but it seems like it might have to be that way, for better or worse. All right. So notice I got a lot of this rectangle sticking out. It doesn't necessarily need to be that much, but yeah, is what it is.
It's always pressure. It's always pressure or either. This way.
And then if I click on the revolve, I can choose that, and it'll select the whole thing. For the revolve axis, you don't have to have drawn a center line. You can just pick any of these circles, any of these surfaces or edges that are circular, and it will work. And you can see it cut through. We see that? Hopefully, maybe, yes or yeah?
Yep.
So I apologize for the confusion. I think it might have been why I drew those rectangles sticking out last year. Having it stick out definitely helps. So I drew a rectangle here where part of it sticks out so I can have something to click on. You probably don't want to have a line here. If you draw a line here or project this edge, it'll treat this as one rectangle and then this part is a separate rectangle. So clicking here will not end up selecting this as well. So you don't want to actually have a line right here cutting it in half. And then I just did a revolve. I did a remove, selected that. And for the revolve axis, you just pick any one of these circle edges or surfaces will work. And I can get rid of the section view. So I'm on the camera and render options thing here on the right side underneath the view cube. And I can turn off section view. Now that's just one tread. You may or may not actually like that, having just one. That looks a little weird. How would I make more?
Feature or pattern.
Yeah. So I can do the linear pattern. Okay. Linear pattern. Entities of pattern. Make sure you change this to feature so it's not part. Features the pattern. You can just click on this. And the direction. You can click on a plane. So I clicked on this plane here as my direction. It'll raise it above or below that plane. Okay? And you can play with the distances. So maybe I'll do like 2. Instance count, maybe 4. And then I can have it go both directions. Second direction, right? For the same number. So I have like treads on there. That might be a little too compact, too dense. But I could edit this if I don't like it. I can make it like a little bit more shallow. For the pattern, like maybe I don't have as many. And that's kind of the poor man's solution to adding treads. So I'm going to call this simple tread, or tread 1. That's a way to do treads. Questions? We're good? So that's a way to do treads. Now I'm going to show you something else that you can do. They make kind of a cool pattern. So I'm going to suppress this. So I'm going to do a similar thing. But in order to do this, I got to put a plane that's tangent to the circle. So I'm actually going to hide some of these planes here just so it's not cluttered. Okay. So in order to add a work plane that you can sketch on, here's the plane thing. I'm not in sketch mode, right? So I got features up here. So I got this plane. There's all these options. All these options. I'm going to do the plane. But so I just did the normal plane, but here's this drop down and it's got plane type. And you got all these choices here. I'm going to do tangent. And then I'm going to click on the surface of this. And you'll notice that it added a plane that's tangent to that circle. Sound good? Yes, say yeah? Yeah? So I'll show that again. I'm in features, not in sketch. These are all features. Go to plane. And I'm going to click here to change this from offset. I'm going to change it to tangent. And then you just click on this outer part of the wheel. And I got a plane.
I think it's done.
Not really.
Yo, what is this?
Here's 3D print work.
Yeah.
That's the Elon Musk of printers, boys. That one there, that gets us to the moon. That one there gets us to Mars.
Gets us to like print. That's one.
Yeah, a legend.
2 more to go.
This is why we have 2 printers.
Great.
This is why. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I can sketch on that. But you may, if you do this, I'm going to show it really quickly again to make sure I trigger it. So I chose tangent as the option, and I just clicked on this. But, you know, there's a lot of planes that would be tangent to this. So see this blue, it says select an additional point or plane to orient it. Like I could click on this one, and it'll make it like parallel to that, for example. And that can help me, you know, align it to be where I want it. All right. But in any case, I'm going to hide the front plane. I have this plane now that's tangent to my tire. We good? Questions? We're good? And now I can sketch on this. I'm going to use this plane for 2 different treads I'm going to show you. One of the treads I'm going to show you, you can just do a simple whatever. For example, I could just do a rectangle like that. And then I can just extrude. So I'm going to just cut into the wheel a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. Maybe 0.5 millimeter. So I cut into the wheel a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I can circular pattern, which we've done before. So here's a linear pattern. Choose a drop down. Circular pattern. And I can do a feature pattern. Click on that. Axis a pattern. any one of these circular edges. How many do I want? I don't know. How many is 12? Now, let's go with 20. 20. What does that look like? 24. Yeah, I'll go with 24. So that's another way to do tread. Circular pattern. So I'll call this all this tread 2. And that's all right, I suppose. You can do some cool stuff with that. But the next thing I'm going to show you is, I think, the coolest thing. All right. So that was tread 2. I'm going to suppress this now. And I'm going to do the third tread. I'm still going to use this plane here that I made. And I'm going to do this with text, although you can do it with sketch. You don't have to do it with text. I'm just doing it with text. Okay? So I'm going to make a sketch on here. And I'm going to use the text tool. What should I type? Kittens are cute.
What about kittens are ugly?
Yeah.
Sam, go to the bathroom.
Sure. So I got this kittens are cute thing. All right. And I'm just going to click on the green check mark. All right. So this is tread 3. Then I'm going to use the wrap tool. So, where is it? Right over here. Okay. So pay attention. I'm out of sketch mode. Right here, there's like 2 circles. Looks like a Venn diagram. This boolean. Then we got one with like white box, like a line going through that split. And then next to that one is transform. We see this? Maybe, yes, yeah, transform. And if you click on the drop down of transform, there's wrap. And you can click on wrap. And it says tools. Well, click on my text. Then it says target. So I'll choose target. I'll click on this circular surface. And there it is. I wrapped my text. Sound good? You say yeah? If you're like, okay, but I want to do the extrude. Well, yeah. Can't really grab that to extrude. It's not going to work. So if you don't want to just have raw text there, if you want to actually like make a feature, you know, like extrude or whatever, you got to make the feature first. So here's the tread 3 extrusion that cuts, and then I'll wrap that actual feature. So tools, I'll click extrusion. Yeah. So that's your wrap feature. You may have to. Oh, there it is. Solid. No, tool. There we go. Sorry. Figure it out. So while you're doing the wrap feature, if you have it as a surface, it just like labels it like the text. It, makes it like a cool design. You've changed this to solid though, then you can add or remove. 0.5. There we go. So sorry, the extrusion, you don't do the extrusion. It's embedded in the wrap thing. You just got to change it to solid. And then there's a thickness. Sorry about that. So you got kids are cute, kind of engraved in there.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I am beautiful. All right, tread 3 is done. So you're seeing 3 different treads. Okay, questions? All right, I'll help you, dude. It's a math thing, basically what it is.
I'm assuming. The numbers is not right.
Okay. So you made a sketch. Let's just take that as it is.
It's not edges.
And then we did wrap around. Yeah. So you wrapped it first to get it kind of contour to it, which is intelligent. You did a solid, you cut in. Be happy with this. Okay. Well, when you pattern it, I'm not saying you did it wrong, but like, let's suppress this. So there's one, right? So if I put one next to it, how much gap is there going to be between them? I don't know. But if that edge right here doesn't line up with the next one, then there's going to be exactly what you see, which is there's gaps between that. Because I mean that's the wheel, right? The tire or whatever. That was already that was already there. Now, if you don't want that there, then you would have to mathematically calculate this perfectly to get this to be patterned where it uses like exactly 20, it spaces them out equally, right? If I take away equal spacing, then I'm going to know what's going to do. Yeah, it's spacing. But like other else to say, I don't know if they're going to solve the problem. That's me. Right? Wow. 21. What? One. So they're like overlapping, right? I'll just put it right. And it's just overlapping. You really don't want it.
Well, I mean, it's really simple math. Let's make up some numbers here. Let's say that is like 10 degrees. Okay. 36 of them would make a full circle, right? But what if it's 9.9 degrees? Well, if I have 36 of them, there's going to be a little gap between all of them, right? If I add a 37th, though, that's going to be too much, right? So you'd have to like make the sketch and the graph, you'd have to like calculate it out. I think in this case, honestly, what you would have been better off is going to add it to the thing. So instead of cutting into it and then there's a gap in between them, you're just adding a shape. Does that make sense? And then there won't be a gap because the gap would be empty space, right? That makes sense. That would be the way to do it. I hope